So even though Donald Trump has the government shut down, he still has his federal agents out attacking America. And this is a story coming from Chicago today. ICE agents rappel from helicopters in overnight raid, dragging kids from beds to U-Hauls. And I want you to see some locals describing it.
They took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen-At video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it, cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
So as the one gentleman described, we're under siege by our own military. And again, this was the headline from Chicago. ICE agents rappel from helicopters in overnight Chicago raid, dragging kids from beds to U-Hauls. And if you're not familiar with the term U-Haul, it's like a rental vehicle. The one they show in the video here is like a budget van, but it's the same as a U-Haul. Basically, they're used to move furniture. Essentially what these are for. And they're using this, the ICE people are using it to move people, I guess. Separate, kids from their parents. This is also the headlines, and I mean, honestly, it doesn't even seem real to me. I'll just be frank with you guys. But when you see the images and you see the people talking about it, unfortunately, it is real. 800 arrests amid Chicago immigration blitz of helicopters and midnight raids. So this is just one story in one building. I think it must be way bigger than even, we know, because it's so hard to report all of this stuff. Inside the Chicago apartment building raided by ICE.
Led 300 federal officials to that apartment complex. Some even rappelled down from Blackhawks onto the rooftop in order to help secure that perimeter. Now, they were administration. Now, it was the biggest show of force that we've ever seen on the ground here. We had agencies, FBI, Border Patrol, ICE, and ATF all involved here, and they were all looking for targets in that same exact building. It was a 5-story building. It was a tall task for them, and anything could have gone wrong.
And the way that the people talk about it, and this would be the MAGA people or the Trump people as a whole, they'll dismiss it. They'll act like, the people that they're arresting are all criminals or they're not even human sort of language. I'll just be frank with you guys. It's sick. And there's a sickness right now in USA, and you really have to show people what's happening. I know it's not pleasant to look at this stuff, but you want to know what's going on. These are your fellow human beings. These are people in Chicago, and essentially they're using military style helicopters and then dropping from the helicopters, breaking windows using chainsaws, dragging kids from their beds. I just want to make sure it's clear what's happening here. And this is just one event that there could be a lot more that we don't even know about. Now we're talking about the Super Bowl, and I know it's transitioning, but you have to put this all together of like the culture in the USA, how it's becoming mainstream to see the ICE agents everywhere. And that's sort of what Trump's goal is, to like get you used to seeing, military on the streets and ICE agents raiding everyone. Like they want you to think that's normal. And I'm just here to tell you, this is not normal at all. Listen to how they talk about it.
What do you guys think about the NFL's decision to name Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime performer, somebody who has not scheduled shows in the U.S. because he says that he's worried that ICE is going to come and arrest his fans?
Well, look, I know there are many in this room who are very anxious to hear the president's response to Bad Bunny being the halftime show, so I won't get ahead of him. I won't reveal what he feels about this next time you all ask him a question.
And so what we're doing, we're all now talking about Bad Bunny and whether or not ICE will arrest, his fans at the game. If you listen to how Noam talks about this situation with the NFL, get a sense of who these people are.
What is your message to the NFL? What is your message to Bad Bunny? Will there be ICE enforcement at the Super Bowl?
There will be, because the Department of Homeland Security is responsible for keeping it safe. So I have the responsibility for making sure everybody goes to the Super Bowl, has the opportunity to enjoy it and to leave, and that's what America is about. So yeah, we'll be all over that place. And we're going to enforce the law. So I think people should not be coming to the Super Bowl unless they're law-abiding Americans who love this country.
And your message to the NFL with this decision? It seems like they were trying to send a message to the Trump administration.
Well, they suck and we'll win and God will bless us and we'll stand and be proud of ourselves at the end of the day, and they won't be able to sleep at night because they don't know what they believe and they're so weak. Well, we'll fix it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, right, they'll suck, we'll win. That's their message. Just again, this is no Department of Homeland Security, or I guess ICE is going to be all over the NFL is what they're saying, and at the Super Bowl. And I guess if you have to be was it a loving American or whatever, American loving America or whatever, how they want to phrase it, to even go to this event. I mean, these people are sick. I just want to make that really clear. The way that they convince the MAGA followers to go along with this stuff is they want to convince you that everyone's a criminal, basically. And I just want you to run down their logic to understand why this is so dangerous, because from their point of view, if they say someone's a criminal, no due process, no warrants, no one showing IDs, that just got, a bunch of masks on, would show up with guns and helicopters and just arrest everyone. And we've talked about the Hyundai situation or the situation now in Chicago, but it's going on all over the country, and unfortunately, this stuff. And a lot of it goes unreported because it's just too much to keep track of. America's under attack by Trump, and then now they're closing down the government and trying to fire as many people as possible. And one of the keys that, say, Haig said, this the defense secretary, what he said recently is like they want to get rid of any sort of whistleblower type mechanism, meaning that if you're in the inside and you want to say, hey, what these people are doing wrong, they want to hide that up. And this comes at a time too when I guess we blew up another boat near Venezuela that was just reported today killed 4 people. So we're trying to start a war with Venezuela, or already started a war, you could argue. Trump, I think he's called it a conflict. Then you got Homan out saying like everyone's a criminal. Just listen, I just don't want you to understand, and use your critical thinking when you know these people are liars to point it out.
Breaking tonight, Apple has just removed the app Ice Block from the App Store. Now, the program allowed users to post the location of ICE agents, which, as the Attorney General Pam Bondi pointed out, put them in serious danger. Her discussions with Apple got that app removed. Here with reaction is President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan.
So what they were talking about is, I guess they were apps on the App Store that were able to track ICE agents, etc. I know already there are hacker groups out there who are, basically trying to amass the ICE agents. This is going to be a big fight. And already, say, in California, I don't know if it's other states as well, but in California, they're saying if ICE comes to California, you can't wear masks to hide your identity. So this is sort of what this stuff is all about, is do we want Donald Trump's, secret police, Gestapo people come around and arresting everyone the way that they're doing in Chicago? And I'm showing you Homing because I just want you to hear the language for themselves, for yourself, like what they actually say, and you'd be the decision how trustworthy these people are.
How would Apple get away with doxing agents and contributing to an atmosphere of putting agents and law enforcement in danger like that?
I mean, they shouldn't, and I think they took it down because what Pam Bondi said, they're going to investigate these people who put these apps up, because it puts law enforcement at great risk. People need to remember, ISIS, they're not just out arresting illegal aliens. I look at the numbers every morning. 70%, 7 out of every 10, are criminals, and the other 30% include national security threats. To give anybody a heads up, ISIS is working right now on 14th Street and Broadway. If you're a criminal in that area, there's going to be that population, that percentage is going to prepare for ICE to come, and someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get killed. They gave a heads up to the bad guy. Someone's about to knock at your door.
And the disturbing thing about this stuff is like it doesn't feel like America. I mean, do you guys see what's happening to the country? It's awful, and I just want people to open their eyes to this stuff. And don't be surprised if they come knocking on your door. I mean, like, even the woman in the beginning was like, I've never had anyone point a gun at my face. I mean, it's like, these are just regular people, living out their lives. And essentially what this all ends up being, it's a big show by Trump and his people, a show of force. They want to scare people, intimidate people. Like I said in the beginning, it's like Trump wants people to get used to seeing military on the streets, and then Trump will try to take over whatever he wants with that. And I've said this so many times. You can find more videos on the topic because people ask questions about it. I'm just telling you. In Korea, the former president was just like Trump, tried to do this just a few months ago. The people took to the streets and was like, no, you can't just declare martial law and just take over with the military. And then the old military was just like, well, what the heck are these crazy orders? And this is essentially, I keep telling you guys, don't tie your name to Trump in any way, shape, or form. Do not follow illegal orders.
Secretary, what's your message to the protesters?
There's consequences for breaking the law and for jeopardizing our law enforcement and while they're doing their work. And we're glad we've got people that'll step up, like these guys that are here today, making sure that they're conducting operations and doing so safely.
You got
ICE officers, Border Patrol, they're great Americans.
You got a dozen arrests over here. They're yelling at you. What's your message to the overall leftists who want to be violent in America today?
You know, leave this country. We don't want you. Go away, or we'll put you in jail.
Thank you, Secretary.
So that's their message. Go away or we'll put you in jail. And you have to understand the way that they're doing it right now is they're basically saying, hey, if you yell and say you don't like Donald Trump or anything like that, they'll just figure out excuse like, oh, well, you said you didn't like Donald Trump. It's time to arrest you. That's the stuff that we're talking about. And the same thing with the guy who, remember, if you saw the ICE agents trying to chase him down on the bike, I guess he said he didn't like Trump effectively. And like, oh, well, you didn't like Trump. Okay, well, now we're going to go get you. That's what's going on. And I want to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you in the next video.